Somewhere in the dark, breathing forests of North America, something ancient is still moving. It walks on two legs, leaves tracks too large to fake, and has been spotted by thousands of people, yet remains just out of reach, just out of focus. It's been called Bigfoot, Sasquatch, the skunk ape, and countless tribal names that go back centuries before the first colonists ever stepped onto American soil. But what if it's not just a myth? What if the creature is real, and the stories, maps, and footage all point to the same chilling truth? Bigfoot is still here, hiding in the shadows of specific remote locations. Not only are these places real, you can visit them, and many people have, some never returned. Today we were going deep into 7 of the most terrifying Bigfoot hotspots in America, real regions where sightings are still happening, where local authorities stay silent, and where you should never hike alone. These stories aren't legends, they're reports from rangers, hunters, and even former military. So if you think Bigfoot is just a story, keep watching. The truth is buried deeper than you think, and the scariest part is, you can go there. We begin in the dark, ancient forests of Northern California, specifically Bluff Creek. If that name sounds familiar, it should. This is where the most famous Bigfoot footage of all time was shot. The Patterson-Gimlin film, captured in 1967. You've probably seen it, that grainy clip of a tall, hairy figure striding across a dry creek bed, arms swinging unnaturally, head turning toward the camera with an intelligence that sends chills down your spine. For decades, skeptics have tried to debunk it, but no one has been able to replicate the footage with a costume or CGI, even with today's technology. What makes Bluff Creek even scarier is that after the footage went public, researchers and enthusiasts flooded the area. What they found were twisted trees 10 feet above ground, giant nests woven from branches, and more tracks leading deep into the uncharted hills. The original film location is so remote, you have to hike through unforgiving terrain just to reach it. And while doing so, many have reported being watched, hearing bipedal footsteps pacing them from the tree line. Bluff Creek isn't just famous, it's still active. From California, we move north into the damp, shadowed rainforests of Olympic National Park in Washington. Here moss drips from every tree, and the fog is so thick you can barely see 20 feet ahead. It's a place made for secrets, and something is definitely hiding in it. Olympic is massive, with over 900,000 acres of old-growth wilderness. Parts of it have never been fully explored. Locals and rangers alike report strange howls echoing at dusk, rock piles left overnight in strange formations, and massive footprints leading up ridgelines where no man could climb. One story, shared anonymously by a former ranger, tells of a trail where campers went missing over a span of 10 years. Always the same stretch of wilderness, always under mysterious circumstances. What connects them? No bodies, no signs of struggle. Just abandoned gear, and in some cases, tracks too big to explain. That trail was eventually shut down due to safety concerns. Olympic National Park may be beautiful by day, but at night, the trees come alive with stories of something that walks like a man, but isn't. Next, we head east to Ohio's Salt Fork State Park, often referred to as the Bigfoot capital of the Midwest. While that might sound like marketing, the sightings here are anything but hype. Over 36 official Bigfoot reports have been filed in this region, not to mention hundreds of local stories passed down through generations. Campers report being stalked at night, tree knocks echoing through the forest, and in some cases, something screaming from the trees in a voice no known animal could make. One family camping in Salt Fork reported their tent being violently shaken in the dead of night, and when they emerged, they saw a figure more than 8 feet tall standing at the edge of the tree line. It didn't run. It just turned and vanished into the woods. The park has become such a hot spot that it hosts an annual Bigfoot conference where police, hunters, and scientists present evidence and sightings. This isn't just a tourist destination. It's a genuine mystery zone. But if you want truly terrifying, look to Chestnut Ridge, Pennsylvania. This region has long been associated with not just Bigfoot, but multiple forms of high strangeness. UFOs, orbs of light, strange animal mutilations, and unexplainable electromagnetic interference. In 1973, this area experienced a wave of Bigfoot sightings that made national headlines. Witnesses described enormous, hair-covered creatures roaming the woods at night, sometimes accompanied by glowing lights in the sky. In one incident, a group of farmers reported hearing screaming in the woods, and when they went to investigate, they found footprints bigger than dinner plates, and all their livestock frozen in place, eyes wide with fear. Some researchers believe Chestnut Ridge may be more than a hotspot. It might be a portal. Something about this land draws activity that cannot be explained. And locals whisper warnings to outsiders. Don't go into the woods after dark. People have gotten lost. Radios don't work. Even the animals act strange here. Now let's head south, deep into the murky wetlands of Florida's green swamp. You might think of beaches and gators when you think of Florida, but the green swamp is another world entirely. Thick, jungle-like vegetation, endless waterlogged paths, and a constant fog that clings to the trees. This is the home of the skunk ape, Florida's version of Bigfoot. The creature gets its name from the overpowering stench it leaves behind, a rotting, swampy smell that lingers long after it's gone. Sightings date back hundreds of years, and in the early 2000s, a woman submitted 2 eerie photos to the Sarasota Sheriff's Office of a large ape-like creature raiding her backyard. Experts couldn't identify it. More recently, in 2015, a group of hunters captured audio of deep guttural whoops and something large crashing through the water in the middle of the night. The scariest part? There were no human tracks. Only massive prints with 4 visible toes sunk deep into the mud. Traveling back west, we find the remote and rocky Marble Mountain Wilderness in Northern California. This region is so isolated that you can hike for days without seeing another person. In 2001, a youth group hiking through the area discovered a strange shelter, massive branches snapped and woven into a sort of lean-to, much larger than any man could have built alone. When they looked up the ridge, one of the boys spotted a large, dark figure watching them. It didn't move. It didn't blink. But it was real. They filmed it from a distance, and the footage, still online today, shows something massive and upright standing silently, observing. Tribal elders in the area speak of the Tall Ones, protectors of the forest who don tea-like when humans stay too long. Several hunters have gone missing in Marble Mountain, and search teams report that their dogs won't follow the scent in certain areas. It's like the wilderness itself is hiding something. Finally, we end at one of the most chilling locations of all, Mount St. Helens, Washington. You've heard of the eruption in 1980, but you may not know the stories that followed. Rumors have persisted for decades that after the explosion, National Guard helicopters retrieved more than just burned wildlife. They pulled out burned, human-like creatures with hair, massive limbs, and no known species classification. These claims were never confirmed, but former military insiders have leaked stories about a secret cleanup operation that focused on recovering something the public was never supposed to see. Long before the eruption, this area was infamous for the Ape Canyon attack of 1924, when a group of miners were reportedly besieged overnight by a group of massive, hairy creatures that threw boulders at their cabin and tried to break through the roof. The men survived, barely. Decades later, hikers in that same region continue to report eerie sounds, tracks in ash, and once again, something watching them. What connects all these places? Isolation, old-growth wilderness, a long history of unexplainable activity, and the one truth no one wants to say out loud: Bigfoot isn't just a creature. It's part of a larger pattern, something ancient, maybe even supernatural that has always been here, watching, waiting. These are not just stories, they're maps. And if you follow them deep enough, far enough, and quietly enough, you might just see something the world refuses to believe. But be careful, because in every one of these locations people have vanished without a trace. If you step off the path and the forest suddenly falls silent, you're not alone. Something is out there, and it's watching you.